the news about Sony's new release, or at least their trailer about their PS5 Pro. What do you think about it as they release it? Like, what are your thoughts?
PS5 Pro.
Yep.
We're talking about the attachment that plays discs.
How you have to pay $700. Then
it doesn't play discs. All digital.
All digital.
It's all digital, but you can
$700
buy the attachment
for extra money. Then if you want to stand, you have to pay more. You're probably looking about a G.
Yes.
You get it. The graphical difference is you have to squint real hard with 4K lenses to even try to see a difference. And on top of that, we have very few games popping out to even show us what the great... I mean, we have gone so far backwards right now. Like, let's just... What do we have pushing our hardware? What's the newest Star Wars game? Outlaws. Debatably one of the most sucky, horribly graphic. We got Concord, which was quite literally, I think, one of the biggest failures in video game history. Within a week or two, it was literally pulled because it had like 200 something players playing it. And then they have the audacity to drop a PS5 Pro trailer. Like, hey, all these great pieces of S games we have, we're going to charge you this much money to play them and have them look barely even better. Then to charge you more. I think it was just... Well, I think the world spoke loud enough. That's what I'm very happy about. It wasn't like...
Definitely.
I was quietly like, oh man, this is kind of dumb. I mean, it was the entire, not just retro gaming community. It was every tech reviewer, retro YouTuber, gamer, tech company. Like, what are they doing right now? If anything, everyone's saying, do not buy this. Show them they are doing the wrong thing right now.
Do you think that there will be a limited amount of releases of that console?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think they're going to do a lot of releases because I feel that they're trying to push digital onto us physical gamers as much as they can.
For sure.
And digital is becoming extremely popular, and so is modding. So I think Sony will be pushing more digital games for this console than re-releasing it. But they are going to get a lot of backlash due to the price. The price, $700. That's a lot.
Especially in this economy.
Yes, man. Especially when, look, I have people coming to my shops and they're selling their collections. Are you getting a lot of collections?
Yeah, a lot of trades right now. A lot of trades.
And I have to ask everyone that comes in, why are you trying to sell? The one common answer I get on a weekly is, dude, I need groceries. Dang. I'm really getting that.
And then on top of that, have you seen like grocery prices?
Yes.
Bread, like $15 and
it's insane.
Yeah.
I ate McDonald's by myself on the app. It was like $20. You know? So are people gonna be willing to shell out $700? Yeah, the people that are well off, but for the regular gamer, and as you all know, we're all collectors, the regular gamer is always trying to find deals. Well, so for $700, I think it's
plus
too
tax,
steep.
Plus if you want the drive,
yes. And you get a vertical stand and pay $40 extra.
Oh,
what? Know people are buying the disc drives right now.
Dear God!
And they're reselling right now for $400. The disc drives, resellers are buying them up from Best Buys and Target and reselling them for $400 to get ready for the PS5 Pro.
When is this set to drop?
I don't know. Did it say?
Is it before Christmas?
Yes, it is.
Because if it drops before Christmas, we're in September 2024 right now. If they get it out before then,
November 7th.
It is.
So November 7th. I mean, is there any other consoles coming out?
No.
So but they're the only ones with the console coming out right before Christmas?
Yep.
When's the Switch? When's the new Switch coming out?
The leaks actually dropped today.
Yeah, they dropped today.
Dang.
They're going to announce it before April 2025.
Some people are saying it was.
No, it is. It is. Nintendo's going to say they're going to announce it before April 2025.
The draft today, was that really real though?
The draft?
The draft.
The leaked information.
I think it was real. I saw from Kevin Kenson, at least his title and thumbnail was. It seemed like he was saying like this is real.
I think
and he's a reliable
IGN
guy
too.
Do you guys think this might actually hurt Sony by pushing this out?
Well,
yes,
my
their
opinion,
image.
I feel if they're the only console coming right before Christmas and you have a bunch of teenage kids, that the way this was advertised from what I saw was it's all about frame rates, speeds. Which I joke doesn't even exist. Just means you need to get better at gaming.
Well, I'll say 90.
But more for the streamers.
But for the streamers, so I have a 15-year-old son. All I hear him talking about is frame rates, because he's playing Fortnite, Siege, these super fast games. I don't know that it's like, I agree with you that the launch titles are not what's going to sell this. But I'm out of the loop as far as how much they care about the frame rates. All I know is my 15-year-old son seems to care a lot about that. And if the holiday season is coming up and these kids are being sold, like this is going to make your gameplay that much better. It's going to make you a better gamer because you can play better. They might be going to mom and dad and saying, this is what I want for Christmas.
I would say yes, but I would say we're also in a different era where, especially kids your son's age, which is also my son's age, they, as much as it's not like back in the day where you could kind of pull a fast one on kids, right? They see this trailer, like my son saw it. Saw the trailer, ooh, that looks good, that looks good. But immediately recommend, your feed on YouTube is recommended PS5 videos. Every thumbnail, he's looking on TV like, what the heck? Every thumbnails, do not buy, waste of money, overpriced. Yep. What is this? Why is Sony doing this? Ban Sony. He's like, oh, this isn't what I was being sold. Back in the day, I feel like you could kind of like write ET cause the video game crash, apparently, because, hey, look at what you're going to get. Now we're in an age where I feel like they are starting to have to be a little more careful and cautious because you have the tech channels reaching out. You have the retro channels going, what are you even saying? Right, so they're putting just as much into your son's ear as Sony would be.
Does anybody know enough about frame rates, Ben? So this is a question for you.
For sure.
Yeah.
What is this PS5 Pro? How much better is it than the PS5?
So I don't follow that as much. I mean, obviously higher frame rates are better, but it's obviously getting into the PC gaming arena, which probably Curtis knows more about.
Well, a lot of people are saying at this price that it's at, they're like, why not just buy a gaming PC at this point? Like, you're getting into this range. Why not get a gaming PC? There's so much more you can do. And yes, there's the argument of, upgrading hardware and all that. But
and I don't know what percentage of kids are playing on PCs versus PS5s versus Xbox One.
There's a lot.
X's.
On PCs, there's a lot.
There's a lot. But
There's a lot.
I remember it was a few years ago, my son was like, hey, I want a PC. Gaming PC, so I went out and bought him an expensive gaming PC. Right, it's probably like $1,000. No, not that much, but it was probably like $1,000, right? And then he also has a PS. He doesn't have a PS. He has an Xbox Series X, and I don't pay attention to what he's always playing on. And I asked him the other day, like, "What are you playing your PC?" And he's like, "No, I haven't played that in years. I just play the Xbox Series."
Thanks for making me buy it.
What did I buy that thing for? So
that's the story of every parent.
I know.
Why did I buy that?
I wonder if I wonder what percentage of kids are still playing consoles. I feel like a good percentage of them.
No, there are for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. And not only are they playing modern gen consoles, but they're also playing retro gen consoles. But going back to the PlayStation Pro console, I think this is a push of desperation from Sony because they just announced like a couple weeks ago, right? They don't have that much AAA title characters. So they don't have enough like a Nintendo library or even an Xbox library because Microsoft bought Bethesda and all that stuff. They have some AAA characters. They don't have enough AAA characters to make shows, movies, theme parks.
Uncharted, it was a drop in the wind. Nobody cared about it.
They only have Uncharted, God of War,
which is good. That's
Horizon.
The big one.
That's good. That's good. Horizon.
They used to have Call of Duty as the pre-order, like you could beta play it. Now you can't.
Now you can't. Now you can't. So I think this is like a quick money grab for Sony because they are laying off a bunch of people and video game developers. So it's just a quick money grab.
Gaming industry as a whole and the new gen is in a very tough spot.
So hard.
RGT is saying it is the video game crash is happening.
I get a lot of my information from Pirate Software, who is a developer for like one of these larger companies like World of Warcraft and all that stuff. He actually develops games, and he kind of goes through the gaming industry and how toxic it was when developing games. Like they would get poor work hours, and people didn't want to work these things, and like games weren't getting done because like they were getting treated bad. And like he was just like, he kind of goes more into it on his channel, but it's just the game industry hasn't taken care of the workers to be able to create a great game.
They don't.
Yeah.
Rockstar, I think, is doing it right. Is I guess one of the former developer of GTA 6. They say that they're not going to put out that game until it is perfect.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the big difference is. I know you're saying a lot of times they're not paid properly, which can be true. I don't know their wages and all that. But at the same time, they are still putting out stuff, a lot of these games that are just like, this is not what people want. You're pushing out so many AAAs just to get the game out. Well, the best comment I saw actually on one of this, it said, sorry, Sony, the world is getting sick of paying to be your beta testers. And it's like, wow, that is such
That's
a
a good. That's a
That
good.
is
That's
a
right on the
statement.
head.
like
That's a
we're
statement. Yep.
sick of buying these games for $70 only for you to go like, well, I guess we'll just fix it later.
Yeah.
Right? We'll figure it out as we go along.
And I posted this on my social media, my personal one, on the story, and I said, I wish Sony would not focus on upgrading their consoles. I wish they would focus more on good quality games.
100%.
You know?
Look at Nintendo.
Yeah.
I feel like Nintendo in the gaming space right now is in the best spot to be.
It is.
Yeah, I don't think
They're
they're worried about a
dominating.
crash.
They have
They're
the
dominating.
best. They have the best IPs between Mario and Pokemon and Zelda and all of
Jeez.
that and Kirby and Donkey Kong. They can pump out games pretty quick, and they're not going to cost them $100 million to make a new Mario game. Like if you wanted to go create like a new God of War style game from scratch for this Sony PS5, it's $100 million. I guarantee you.
It's a lot of the same stuff with the movie industry. They're over budgeting these movies and they go, oh my God, Disney lost another billion on another movie. It's like, well, yeah, stop making your budgets for these.
Like the Borderlands movie that came out.
Just stop making this stuff cost $500 million.
Lost a
And
lot
they've
of money
kind of
on
like pigeonholed themselves into this corner where they need like huge games like Fortnite, huge games like Call of Duty, multiplayer games where now that's their thing. Versus Nintendo's over here like, oh yeah, we're still making Mario games and people are buying them just as much. And so I think they're going to get to a point where like there's nobody else making new games because they just can't afford to do it and take the risk on.
Yeah.
I think what the comparison between Sony and what Microsoft's doing against PC gaming is Microsoft is building its entire library basically to be on PC. That Xbox Game Pass, you could literally play any of those games that your son is playing on PC.
Yeah.
Like Gears of War, like right now, I guess Gears of War hasn't came out with a game until E-Day. You could play that right now on PC.
I even heard from a Microsoft executive, I think it's somewhere out there in the news, that he's even saying that he's even considering not making the next Xbox console. That they're thinking just put it all on PC.
I could see that.
I mean, Microsoft, they're just PC makers anyway.
Yeah, they are PC makers.
That's
Originally,
that's what
they
their
were.
whole
That's what
thing.
they were.
If you're trying to compete with a market where you're trying to get the best performance, I think Sony is going backwards on it.
Well, it's funny
sure.
because I'm sure the sales, I haven't looked, but I think Sony PlayStation 5 has more sales than Xbox. I think they lost that race. And I'm not even like a Xbox versus Sony guy, but I feel like even me who has a PS5 and I do play it, I find myself scratching my head like, is Sony just turning into like Apple now? Like we're charging you far more. We're nickel and diming you for every piece, right? That's what Apple started to do. Hey, we need by the way, we changed our port again. You have to buy a new cable.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, this charger costs this now. It's like, is this what Sony like? Oh, we're gonna piece you out
A tech company.
a PlayStation.
Tech company.
Yeah. It's just it's. I'm like afraid. Like, is this what they're starting to do? Be less consumer friendly? Maybe they're cocky. Like, well, we have more sales than Xbox, so we can't do this.
I am happy that they put the disc attachment. The price and all that seems high, but at least they created that. It
like
seems
separately.
like
No, but separate. It
But
should
separately,
include.
but-
It should include it. You don't deprive that from a gamer. Give them the option if they want discless or disc, but make both of them pro.
This one's just straight up discless. All of
It's
them.
all digital.
so it's all digital.
They're pushing us to all
it's in
digital.
the attachment, right? But
Yeah.
I guess when they released the PS5, they had the digital and
And
then they
discless.
had two different versions,
and the
right?
discless was cheaper.
Right, and I remember there actually being more demand, and you probably remember too.
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
more demand for the disc version.
Oh
of
yeah,
it.
for sure.
So
For
that's probably
sure.
why you're saying you're seeing people like buying up these disc attachments. I don't know. I guess I'm just in a plus note. I was almost thinking that might have been the last disc version was the PS5 that we even see. So that at least they're having it, I guess, is a plus in a way. There's some physical still there.
Yeah, because I
It's not
mean,
completely
so
dead.
when you're talking about like frame rates comparably, right? A PC, like my PC, with a display can push out to 180 to 240 like hertz per like frame, right? That compared to a console only puts out 120. Most consoles were locked at that 120 mark. And their FOV, meaning like how much you can see in a game, like a competitive game, you didn't see as much. You had a locked screen, and so you couldn't see as much in your POV. So you were kind of at a disadvantage playing on a console in these games that were like fast-paced, reaction, not like a Nintendo where you have these very great titles like Smash Bros. And you have your own competitive scene already built in. You know what I mean? Like they have framed their own like market themselves. That's why Nintendo does so well.
All right, so if you know the frame rates, then so what's this PS5 putting out for frame rates?
Let me see what
It's just more details from what I got from the news coverage of it. It's just more details into the actual game and just a seamless, more streamable console.
You
from
already nailed it in the head when you said stop. None of this even really matters
It's not.
if you don't have good games.
Yeah,
Right?
I feel like they lost a connection with their PS fans and their gamers.
Yep.
I feel like they fell off the map, or they're starting to fall off the map, because if you look at Nintendo, man, not only are they producing fire games, but they're in theme parks, they're in movies, they're in theme parks all over the world. You could literally meet Mario and hug him himself.
And you know they are going to continue to crush the movies.
Dude,
It's so interesting because it's not like Sony, or if you make a Halo thing or anything, like people will like them. But when it's like Nintendo, you cannot tell me when a Zelda movie comes out that it's not going to blow the lid off the movie scene. It's just
Exactly.
going to.
have you guys seen the Nintendo Museum that's opened up in Kyoto?
Yeah.
I
You
wanna
know,
go.
I want to go too. You know how crazy that is? You know, like there's giant controllers and 64
Yeah.
Wiimote. Imagine having a big Wiimote and you have to play in the museum holding it.
That's how I feel
Only-
every day when I use the bathroom.
Yeah. Imagine getting one of those in your store and then them coming for it.
Romeo's saying that 'cause he's got them.
But only Nintendo can think of something crazy like that for gamers to react. Oh, I want to go there, right? Sony does not do that. Like, oh, I want to get that. This is having a lot of people on both sides. I want to get it. I don't want to get it. But it's more often people screaming, I'm not going to get it.
It
Yeah.
is so funny how there's like a PlayStation fanboys, Xbox fanboys, and they butt heads. But in the middle of that, right in the middle, is everyone in the world like all agreeing like Nintendo's good.
Nintendo. Yeah.
Everybody's like, no, Nintendo's great. Like, no one has a beef with Nintendo.
Yeah, I lean on the side, the PC Xbox side. That's where I do.
You do? Okay, your
Yeah.
PC Xbox.
Are you going to get one of these?
No.
No?
Not even gonna think about
If
it.
Xbox came out with a new one that had frame rates like this, would you buy it?
No.
What's
so
the next-
I already
what's-
I bet on $3,000.
Most
PC.
people,
See?
like we've said before, don't even have the proper TVs and displays to play
Yeah.
this stuff. And they go jump out, dude. I've told you before. People have sent me photos. I'm not going to name names. I got the new Xbox Series X. I'm so stoked. And they send me a picture of them playing. And I'm like, they're playing on like a janky ass TV from 15 years ago. And I'm like, you are not seeing any upgrade, my boy. You just think you are.
I'm
Yeah, and
telling you.
I still have like a PS4 and an Xbox One original, I think, that I play on.
Dang,
and
you're
like,
on hard times or what?
I
Yeah,
haven't. I'm
you
still.
saw him with the water cup.
Which water
Oh, we
cup?
made a joke about the water cup because you filled it up with not water. And I was like, dang, look at that thief over there. Dude. Called him out.
The
straight
guy
up.
with
Dude,
the
that-
deepest
I
pockets.
joke around. We're talking about going to the taco place, and there's the water's always on the. There's always something behind it. Lemonade. This one
Yeah.
had fruit punch, and I always go, "Oops!" and I just tap it.
Thief, dude. Don't let my wife know that.
Never forget
No, I
with
do.
the
I do
movies.
75% water, one splash of whatever's behind it. It's just an oops.
Oh, a splash. Okay, a splash is okay.
It's a
All right,
splash
all right.
for a little lemonade taste
Alright.
in the
That looked
water.
really red to be a splash.
I was like, hey, Curtis, look at this thief back there. dude.